Hey everybody, just got a couple things, thinking about some things and whatnot and everything. And one of the things that I like to pride myself on is sharing. So I want to share with you what I believe it means to be an American, what the American dream is. The American dream to me is growing old, providing for my family, having a family, building prosperity. Doesn't have to be a lot, but just enough to be comfortable and everything, put a house over my family's head, nice yard, pets, children, whole 9 yards. Um, I believe that, you know, that's probably what most people's dream is. I also want to put on the fact that for over 40 years, I've worked for somebody. I've had, I've been supervised by people. I've supervised people, whole 9 yards. But I've worked hard at what I do. And my final draft of my dream is actually, to be an entrepreneur and work for myself, put a business together. And I'm sure everybody's got dreams. Everybody's got dreams of their own. Priorities are everything, and that's what my American dream is. So I started at a young age, 18 years old, and started seeking that American dream. And actually started younger than that because at 11 years old, I started working on my work ethic. Work ethic means a lot to me. Work ethic should mean a lot to everybody. You should be willing to work for what you want. And that's, some of the things that we've got within our country. There's no other country out here that, in my eyes, that even matches up to the United States. So, that's part of my American dream, and we have natural rights and everything, which by being born here in this country. Now I know there's several discussions and everything out there about birthright citizenship and everything else, which I'll tell you right now I'm against. I don't believe people that come into our country just visiting and stuff drop a baby and all of a sudden become a citizen because their child was born here on their trip, or whether or not they came in here illegally and stuff. Either way, it doesn't really matter. My opinion is I'm totally against birthright citizenship. I've worked hard all my life and everything for having birthright citizenship, and I was born in this country. Granted, family and my parents were born in this country, to my knowledge. But my grandparents and everything probably came over from the old country, from Italy, uh, either Ireland and stuff like that. I think so, somewhere around there. But you know, that would put us, generational and everything, being in the United States and everything, and being born here. That's what we makes us a citizen, and that's our right. You know, like I said, that's the reason why I'm against birthright citizenship. People coming here illegally, people coming here just visiting, drop a baby, they get the right to be an American citizen. No, that should be changed, and that's just one of the things. But we pride ourselves on our values and everything, and rule of law is one of them. Limited government. I'm not for big government. I'm for small government. Justice, equality. There's several terms. A lot of things out there and everything. But that's what I believe in. I believe that's what our country was founded on. And you can look this stuff up and everything, and where I find my information and stuff, I'll cite it down in the descriptions. But this is just my opinion, my conversation, and everything I want to have with everybody here. So that's what my dream is. And if you want to share your dream, please drop it down in the comments and everything. I really want everybody to partake and whatnot. So that's just part of what I my beliefs are and everything as far as that. But like I said, work ethic is a big one, and that's where it starts with the children and everything, raising people up. You have to work for what you want in this country. There's nothing free, nothing. And if anybody's telling you there's something free, you get things for free in this country, they're very, very wrong. I've worked hard. My family's worked hard. You know, brought my children up and everything. They all do very well for themselves. My wife does well for herself, but we all work hard together and everything to make our dream. So and that's what I hope to, that you guys learn and everything, or if I can help people learn what having a good work ethic does and everything. Yeah, it means showing up to work 15 minutes early. I learned in the military and everything that you're not on time unless you're 15 minutes early. Some people take it long deeper than that, to like 30 minutes. It all depends on the individual and how they're learning or being raised or being taught. So this that's where it all begins and everything. I held a job, started delivering papers at 11 years old. Get up 4:30 in the morning, fold them, deliver them. From there I went into working at a fast food. I've worked several fast foods, worked at gas stations, worked retail. Then when I turned 18, I enlisted in the military. And that's one of the things. I believe everybody should, enlist in the military, and everybody should try that. So, and that's, this is where we teach people. This is where we learn. This is where, you mentor people. You know, I, I enjoy talking. I enjoy conversing with everybody and anybody. My wife calls me the social butterfly, because she don't really like to talk to people too much. But that's me. I enjoy being around people and stuff like that. I'm not a hermit, but I got things that I like to do. So getting back to it and everything, though. But this is how we share, how we teach, how we try and get people to learn. Not everybody has a good work ethic, and would wish that people would teach them better, teach them how to be on time to work, be on time to appointments, show up, come to work. You got to realize that, especially when as part of a team and everything. If you call out because, oh, I'm not feeling good today, whatnot, somebody else has got to pick up your slack. So this is what it's all about. Working for what you want. Set off money off to the side and stuff. Set goals for yourself, but learn. Um, I learned a long time ago that having a skill and everything. I joined a trade school, and I worked with electronics, worked with wiring, worked woodworking and stuff like that. Those are all skills. That's what we need to get people back to. So again, please uh, and share everything that's going on. Like, comment, share the channel, subscribe to it, please. And if you like this content, and if you like what it brings and everything, I just want to share. So please come on in. Water's warm. Join us. We'll have a good conversation. Pick a topic, you name it. You want to talk about it, I'll talk about it too. It's not too much that I'm not, too knowledgeable. I'm not almighty knowledgeable or anything like that, but I have opinions and everything. And if I know something about something, you want to learn something, uh, how to write a book, how to write a sentence, how to work on computers, anything. You name it. If you got questions on where to get started as far as, looking for a job and whatnot. I'm currently looking for one for myself right now, but my goal is to work for myself. So, but it's part of goals and everything, priorities. So if you like what you've heard, you know, this is part of my channel, which my channel is Mac on the Move. Um, and if I haven't been, introduced myself, I'm Mac. But like, comment, share, subscribe, join. It's just time, and we have plenty of it to share ourselves with each other as far as having conversations. I'd like to learn different things too. I have questions and stuff. If you want to bring something to the table and whatnot, awesome. Probably in the next one, we're going to talk a little bit more about, saving this country. And we have elections coming up and everything. We have midterms. So my goal is to educate people and to give people knowledge of stuff about things going on around this country. And I will be doing a video on Democratic Socialists of America, which is a threat to our country. Because the people that are currently running and everything, they call themselves socialists. I don't call them socialists. I call them communists. Again, nothing is free in this country. You have to work for everything. So again, like, comment, share. Stay sharp. Keep moving, because movement keeps us young. And I'll see you on the next one.